It was in 1993 that Vauxhall decided to rethink, rebrand and rename the moderately popular, if somewhat clumsy, Vauxhall Nova. Gone were the Nova's boxy looks, replaced with modern curves, new technology like power steering and anti-lock brakes, low weight, heightened performance and exceptional handling. And gone too was the Nova name. Instead, this affordable, practical and stylish box of tricks was to be known simply as the Corsa. A quarter of a century later, and over 2 million Corsas have been sold in the UK, with a further 13.5 million in Europe, making it one of the most popular and ubiquitous cars around. And now Vauxhall have given us this, the fully electric Corsa-e. But can the humble Corsa make the same impact on the electric market as its petrol and diesel predecessors? Well, one thing's for sure, there's certainly no shortage of competition, with the likes of the Kia e-Niro, Hyundai Kona and Renault Zoe all with plenty to offer. But it's from Peugeot that the Corsa has taken its lead as it enters the blossoming electric hatchback market. Check it out. This is very similar to the Peugeot E208. And like any electric car, the hit of acceleration is pretty brisk, especially at low speeds and especially when you're in the sport mode. It's less impressive on the motorway, still fine though. It's just perfect for nippy city driving. It's an absolute joy to drive around the city. As with any purchase in the electric market, range is key, and the Corsa's WLTP rating of 208 miles places it squarely in the middle of the pack. The likes of the Kia Niro or the Zoe will go further per charge, but neither will do it with quite the same sense of ease as the Corsa. And of course, the range and driving experience can be altered depending on which of the 3 driving modes you select. So I've put it into sport, so let's check out that acceleration. Whoa! Absolutely brilliant. That obviously will alter, though, the distance that you can do. Sport mode gives you that extra power and torque, makes it very nippy, impressive acceleration. But if you want to extend the range, then the normal mode reduces the power a bit, and eco mode that you've also got, that takes it down further still. The Corsa-e is very, very quiet. There's a slight electric hum at lower speeds you can probably hear now to let people know you exist, but it's also very quiet at the higher speeds. When you buy a Corsa-e, you get, as standard, a 7 kilowatts wall box installed at your house, plus the corresponding cable, which provides a 0 to 100% charge in around 7.5 hours. Lovers of the Corsa, and there are plenty out there, will be glad to know that when it comes to styling, Vauxhall have taken a similar if it ain't broke don't fix it approach as Volkswagen did with the e-Golf. This is still recognisably a Corsa, just with a few subtle differences from the petrol and diesel versions. The track at the front and rear is wider on the E, so the wheels are marginally further apart, and the wheelbase is 7mm longer too. The rear axle has been moved as well to cope with the new battery pack, which sits in an H shape, a bit under the front seats, a bit under the back, and joined in the middle. One downside is that due to various mechanical gizmos related to the battery, you can't option a spare wheel, and there's no underfloor storage space in the boot. The Corsa-e does have a different suspension setup to the standard Corsa, and the steering is different too, mostly due to a 50 kilowatt lithium-ion battery which weighs 355 kilos, a considerable extra weight to put in a car. To counter that, Vauxhall have changed the suspension so it still feels slightly firmer, but still quite controlled. The electric version as well doesn't compromise on interior space. You don't feel cramped in. It's not great with these corner columns, but overall it's just a brilliant car to drive round the city. Very, very nippy. very comfortable. In terms of price, the Corsa-e does require slightly more of an initial outlay. Once the £3,000 grant has been applied, you're looking at £26,640 for the SE nav and £30,045 for the Elite nav. But remember, your running costs are going to be considerably lower, so it doesn't take too long to start earning some of the value back. The Corsa's appeal has always been built on being cheap to buy, economic to run and practical and easy to drive, and all of that still applies with their electric offering. Yes, perhaps it lacks some of the style, finish and risk of the Peugeot 208e, or a decision from the head rather than the heart, but that isn't always a bad thing. The Corsa-e is certainly the car if you're a little wary and risk-averse when entering the electric market. And if you're wanting to make a statement about going electric, well, other models are more likely to catch your eye. But on the other hand, that's part of the Corsa-e's appeal. You've got all the benefits of going electric without any of the song and dance. When it comes to an electric offering from a badge that you know and trust, the Corsa-e is going to take some beating.